Thank you, thank you. So you can ignore my first name, T Chong is kind of too difficult to pronounce. TC, my initials, Tango Charlie, for those who are in the Army. I'm from HPE Aruba, and thank you for joining me in this session. I'm here to share with you about how the right technology strategy can help you save costs and contribute to your hotel's sustainability goals. All right, I found this little quote from the internet, very meaningful one. It says, sustainable development is the masterful balance of meeting our own needs without jeopardizing future generations' ability to do the same. They had no author's name to it, but it as a light of mine. But we have our needs today, and obviously, it's different from those of yesteryears. And we certainly don't want to go back to the Stone Ages and dish all the technology that we have today, our phones and stuff, but we have to better manage how we use the Earth's resources. Now, you may find this all familiar, right? We all know about Maslow's hierarchy of human needs, the most basic of which is water, food, shelter. You've seen this before, haven't you? Yeah? Geez, Wi-Fi is even more important than water? It's becoming true, all right? It's meant to be a joke, but it's becoming true. But what's interesting is, there's almost an insatiable and increasing demand for faster internet, right? What's important? Even more important than Wi-Fi? Your battery. How many of you carry power banks everywhere you go? You need it. But interestingly, underlying this demand for power requirements is not just the power for our phones, our mobile devices, but also the networks that brings Wi-Fi to every guest, visitor, and staff. Well, you need the access points. The access points need the switches. The switches need the routers. Right? It's not going to go away, okay? So the size of the network, the number of access points required to provide that strong signal, which everybody craves for, 5 bars, anything lower than that, you complain, hey, your Wi-Fi sucks. And the server room, even to hold all those switches and the servers to run the applications that you guys use to run your operations. All these require a good electricity delivery platform. Right? Not only that, cooling. You need air conditioning for your server rooms too. So all that's going to consume power, which is why the ability to harness renewable energy sources is pretty important for us in our future generations. And the hotels, you guys, will continue to face sustainability challenges if the power consumption keeps increasing. Now the good news is there are technologies that exist today that are energy efficient, right? And there are strategies that you can adopt, right, towards sustainable operations. So making the right choice of technology and tech strategy can help contribute to your sustainability goals. Now there are several drivers to the increased energy requirements today. Okay? One of them is the increasing network-based systems that require connectivity. Okay. We have already seen the trend with voice and TV. Well, we used to have analog phones, right? Remember the old days? Or the touch tones? We now move to IP phones. We used to have analog TV that had coaxial cable, so you had to run a different cable for the TV. It's now IPTV and internet smart TVs. Guest room management systems require their own networks. ELV systems require their own networks. Even building management systems now, all IP-based. So every one of these networks require network switches to operate, and it takes power to run and space that requires cooling. Another interesting driver is the new Wi-Fi standards created by the Wi-Fi Alliance demands more power, as they add spectrum capacity and add more or require more radios on the Wi-Fi access points. In the past, we had Wi-Fi 4, we had Wi-Fi 5. They require 15 watts of power to run. But today, in the current technology, Wi-Fi 6, it requires 30 watts, double. And we have a new standard coming, Wi-Fi 6E, that requires more than 30 watts. In the old days, we could also just put up a few access points. Okay, I don't know if you guys are old enough for that, but a few access points in the corridors to cover all the guest rooms in the past, right? Some of you have done it before. But now with the new technology, the fact that we have moved to a higher frequency from 2.4 gigahertz to 5 gigahertz and now to 6 gigahertz, the signal doesn't penetrate the walls. And now you've got to have one access point per room. Okay? So all that is going to increase the hotel's power consumption, right? On top of the rest of your other ELV systems and HVAC. And that obviously means increased operating costs. Interestingly, technology is becoming a silent contributor to environment crisis we face today. And from our HPE IT efficiency and sustainability technologist, Matteo Dugan, the IT industry is responsible for 4% of greenhouse gas emissions, almost 1.5 times more than the aviation industry, the aircraft, which is significant. Now, I am proud of being part of HPE because HPE has a commitment to a low carbon economy. We are leaders in corporate climate action. Right? And as a company, we have carbon emissions targets across our value chain in alignment with the Paris Climate Agreement. We design and produce energy efficient products. We create features that help reduce carbon footprints. And we offer asset upcycling services as well as new consumption models. Okay? So how can we actually help our customers? Firstly, we design and build energy efficient hardware. Right? So in a recent study we did in the UK for a luxury hotel, it's kind of interesting. We were able to help the hotel save a significant sum of money on the power cost of their infrastructure compared to our competition. So when we calculated the power consumption of our competition products and HPE Arubas, we found that we could help the hotel save a power cost amounting to 28% of the total cost of ownership of the infrastructure, less than our competition, over a 5-year period. It also resulted in a carbon CO2 reduction, carbon emissions reduction of 38 tons. And that translates, or is equivalent to driving 264 kilometers in a fuel combustion, not an electric car, of course. Right? Now, secondly, we introduce features in our products to manage power consumption better. So our access points support intelligent power monitoring, and that allows the access points to operate under lower power source. And this allows hotels to adopt newer Wi-Fi technology without ripping and replacing their existing switches, right, which is required to power the access points. We also have a new feature called Green AP. Okay? Now all our APs are white, they can go to sleep, and that is going to bring down the power consumption 72%. Okay? Pretty significant, right? Considering that you need to have many access points to cover these areas. Another way that we are helping our hotel customers save costs is helping them design secure converged networks. Now today, hotels build multiple networks for different services, and they are operated in silos. All right? There is guest Wi-Fi, So you see all the cables you got to lay, the switches you got to buy, and the access points that you got to install. Right. Now, if the engineering team decides that they want to implement, say, online door locks, getting the door locks on the network, they would have to ask for another set of cables to be laid, buy another switch, buy some Zigbee hubs, we call it, for the door locks to get connected. And then now the ELD systems say, hey, I need a network too. You lay another set of cables, put another switch, and I could go on. Your building management system, your guest room management system, all that digital signage, background music system. Right? Now what we can do, and the hotel can actually reduce cost by leveraging the Aruba access points as an IoT gateway, eliminating the need for extra cables, switches, and Zigbee hubs. Right? And this is what we're calling converged IoT networks. Right now, the door locks can actually communicate with the Aruba access points and to the lock server without those third-party Zigbee gateways. Okay. Interestingly, this lays the foundation for additional innovations in guest services, such as asset tracking, inventory tracking, and staff safety.